Welcome to Absolute Cardboard, I'm Alan, and if you know me, you know I have a latent desire to throw things at people. Lucky for me, Wizards of the Coast invented an entirely new character by the name of Captain America that will let me throw equipment at people. But the real question is, can we make a Captain America deck that's both competitive and fun? Captain America First Avenger is a Jeskai with 3 mana value for a 4/4, with the mana cost being just Jeskai colors. It has 2 premier abilities, the first being Throw, which lets you pay 3 mana, unattach equipment from Captain America, and then he can deal the damage equal to the unattached equipment divided into 1, 2, or 3 targets. He also has Catch, which lets you equip 1 equipment to Captain America for free at the start of your turn. Now I hear what you're thinking, much like many Marvel superheroes, I have telepathy. And yes, I know the Secret Lair sold out, it was a terrible launch, a bad system, which is why I made my own Secret Lair and bought proxies of each hero on Etsy for a fraction of the price. I'm talking like $5 a hero. And check out this fancy packaging. Cap really wants high mana value for his first ability, but wants high mana equip cost for his second ability, which puts you into a weird space in which equipment you want. Do you want high mana value, high equip cost, general usefulness, or zany things that would be fun to dome your opponents with? So can we build an EDH deck with Captain America that's both funny and capable of winning? I think so, and I'll have the full deck list in the description below, as well as general links to buy Magic, a link to the Marvel proxies. But without further ado, here is Who Throws His Shoe, and I promise we will be throwing a shoe. We're going to start with a small package of Death Touch enablers. It's important to run these since we don't run that much interaction or wipes, but with Death Touch, Cap will be able to clear some of the board. We'll start with Basilisk Collar, which is an OG Death Touch equipment often used in ping strategies, but it will work to get 3 kills per Cap activation. Please know you'll have to remove a different equipment than the collar because if you remove the collar, then Cap won't have Death Touch when the damage is dealt. That goes for other Death Touchers as well. Dissection Tools is nice since you can sacrifice the manifested creature to instantly equip it to Cap in case you don't have any cards that will do it for free, and yes, there are quite a few cards in this deck that will do that, and we'll get to those in a bit. Lastly, we have Nazgul Battle Mace, which is just a big equipment that will help with the death touching, but also kind of make whoever it's equipped to into a total house. As previously mentioned, we only run a few wipes, starting with Farewell, which is just really good and versatile. Starfall Invocation and Single Combat are both board wipes, but will let you keep your captain around and throwing crap at people. Let's move on to the good equipment, stuff that will likely win you the game. And I start with Colossus Hammer, which is terrific since you can cast it on turn 1 or 2, then cast Cap on turn 3 and you get a free equip that turn. Then you cast another equipment the next turn before attacking and you've got a real threat really quickly. I like Brass Knuckles because it makes 2 cheap equipping equipments. If your Cap gets stymied, you'll need to start equipping your other goons with Brass Knuckles that gives you double the chances for double striking. Argentum Armor is another big equipment. It's pretty simple, high mana value means you can chuck it and do some serious damage. I would advise throwing it after the equipped creature attacks so you get the Vindicate effect in addition to the damage from the throw. Embercleave is nice for the flash and the cost reduction by attacking with your support creatures, which you will have a fair supply of. Excalibur Sword of Eden is the heavy hitter for equipment, letting you throw it for 12 damage, though it's totally fine if you just leave it equipped and beat some buns with it. Hexplate Wallbreaker will give you an additional attack, which will give you another free equip onto Cap, I think. I'm not a rules lawyer, but I think that's how it goes. Culture Complete is just really a good equipment card, making a threat all on its own or in conjunction with Cap. Leyline Axe seems interesting. The leyline effect of getting it onto the battlefield pregame is very good for a quick equip, and I think 4 mana value 3 equip is a fine cost for what the axe actually does. Mythocroat acts like an interaction spell in that you generally want to use it to counter a spell or to keep your Cap on the board in the face of a board wipe. Mjolnir Stormhammer will attach to Cap for free, perfectly mimicking that super freaking dope scene from Avengers Endgame. I'm not sure how its ability will play out, but it could end up as significant table damage. Shadow Spear isn't quite the powerhouse some of the other gear is, but removing hexproof and indestructible from opponents can come in handy. Plus having a lifelink trample Cap on turn 4 isn't all that bad. Threatened Power Suit will grow with the number of equipped cards, but most importantly it has Ward 2, giving some extra protection to Captain America. Next up is a bunch of cards that will focus on reducing the cost of equipping. We'll start with Astar Bearer of Blades, who will give you a Giga Impulse for an equipment, but it will also give you a global 1 mana to equip cost. Brunner Battlehammer will give you the first equip of your turn 0 equip cost, but then also give the equipped creatures a power buff. Bureau Headmaster will do double duty by dropping your equip cost by 1, as well as the casting cost by 1. Similarly, Codsworth Handy Helper will give you a free attach as well as help you ramp some of your big mana value equipment. Forensic Gadgeteer will drop the activation of all your equip by 1, but will also investigate netting you some extra card draw if needed. Training Grounds will let you reduce Captain's throw ability by 2, which is pretty valuable even though it doesn't really affect equipments. Zerta the Dawnwaker will reduce your equip cost by 2, and it can mess up combat for your opponents, but that's more just icing on the cake. Next we run some cards that will let you move around your equipment for free. We'll start with Arden Intrepid Archaeologist, who will just move all your damn stuff to a creature of your choice at the start of your combat. Blacksmith Talent will give you pretty basic equipment. The second level, however, will let you move an equipment to a creature at the start of your combat. On its third level, your equipped creatures get Double Strike and Haste, meaning you can cast Cap, equip 2 items for free, and swing in the same turn. Halvar God of Battle will let you get a free move from one creature to another. Now you do need another creature equipped to move the equipment to Cap. And the back of Halvar is pretty good as well, mostly to keep Cap cheap by avoiding the commander tax of him dying again. You can just put him into your hand and cast him for 3 mana. Inventory Management will let you put your equipment wherever you want as an instant. It's really powerful if a particular creature is blocked or not, letting you set your equipment as you see fit. Oh, it's also split second, which means it's really hard to respond to. Sigarda's Aid is somewhat similar in that you can cast and equip your stuff at instant speed, making all your equipment much more tricky than normal. We start the interaction with 3 1-mana value creature removals in Swords to Plowshare, Path to Exile, and Dispatch. You could definitely swap 1 or 2 of these out for artifact or enchantment removal, but for some reason I fear more creatures with this deck than anything else. Dovin's Veto is there just to be kind of a catch-all counterspell. Well, it catches all besides creatures anyways. Lion Sash is one of my favorite cards currently. It's just really great graveyard control that will grow itself or attach to a creature. We'll start with Enlightened Tutor, which is kind of on the bubble since it doesn't put the card directly into your hand. Still at 1 mana, it's cheaper than our other tutor to hand spells, though still Shaper's Gift is the same cost for just an equipment tutor, which is pretty good when you compare it to Enlightened Tutor. Fighter class is terrific considering you get a tutor and the next level reduces equip cost by 2. The third level is okay, but man, the first 2 really pack a punch. Joyer Weatherlight Captain will give you a card draw to every historic spell you cast, which will be mostly artifacts. Kellen the Fate-Blooded will let you tutor for an equipment, but also serve as a Captain America attacking alternative, with Double Strike built in, and a growing Anthem effect for all your other creatures. Nahiri Forged in Fury is wild. She's pretty cheap to get out after the affinity is counted, and lets all your attacking creatures exile a card from the top of your deck that becomes castable, and any equipment that you reveal can be cast for 0 mana. Pure Steel Paladin is a classic in these type of archetypes. Draw a card when you cast an equipment, plain and simple. The free attach once you achieve metawork is also terrific. SRAM Senior Engineer is just like a junior Pure Steel Paladin, just draw a card for each equipment you cast. Stoneforge Mystic will let you tutor for an equipment, but also let you cheat some out. Stonehewer Giant will do the same, except it's more expensive and you have to pay to activate it to get the tutor and put the equipment into play. The Reality Chip is terrific, letting you cast spells and play lands from the top of your deck, no restrictions once it's equipped. Most of our ramp is pretty simple: 3 of the relevant signets, 3 of the relevant talismans, 1 arcane signet, but then we get a little bit spicy with Dalico's Crafter of Wonders, which will ramp your equipment but also give your equipped creatures flying and haste. Ethereum Sculptor and Enthusiastic Mechanaut will both ramp up your artifacts and equipment. We're starting the funny with Blinding Powder, which will give the opportunity to create the infamous Pocket Sand moment. For field-tested Frying Pan, there is no real meme of hitting someone in the face with a frying pan, unless you consider how my mom acted when my dad came home drunk. Hand of Vecna is also hilarious, and I envision throwing this and then yelling, "What did the 5 fingers say to the face?" Thinking Cap is an homage to the inspiration for this deck Odd Job from the James Bond movies. And similarly, Trailblazer Boots are probably the best equipment here, not only because they are actually helpful in the game, but they pay homage to the other attire-tossing criminal Random Task from Austin Powers, inciting the tough question of, who throws a shoe? Witch's Eye is there because I think it's just funny to throw an eye at someone, and Wrench is there because if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. X-Guard Armory is another equipment tutor. You can make this a bit better by running an ore or two just so you get 2 for 1. Desolate Lighthouse and Fomori Vault are good because this deck is pretty redundant, so if you have a bunch of cards that automatically equip something, you can keep one in your hand and ditch it for other cards. Dust Bowl is Dust Bowl. It keeps wacky lands in check, and that's all it needs to do. Cabal Cliff is good because sometimes you just have a ton of equipment on a creature and can't attack for one reason or another. You can just chuck the creature with Cabal's Fury, the backside of Cabal's Cliffs. Monumental Henge will be a nice card draw in the late game, getting you historic cards, which will be mostly artifact equipment. For mana, I run 3 lands that will get me Jeskai mana, then 5 of each Boros, Azorius, and Izzet lands. I finish the deck off with 3 islands, 4 mountains, and 5 plains. And that's it for my take on Captain America. If you want a non-funny list, I would remove all the cards from the LMAO section and replace them with better equipment from the alternatives in the gear section, but also some stuff like single target protection. I'm thinking like God's Will or maybe another counterspell. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out another video of mine. You can support me by doing that, or you can also check out my Patreon. Enjoy throwing things at people, and I will see you around.